Laudato Si is often referred to as the environment encyclical or the ecology encyclical or even the climate change encyclical, but you insist that it is thoroughly a social encyclical. Why do you make that distinction?
It's not me. It's not me making them say. It's a correction that the Holy Father, Pope Francis, makes, reminding people that it's a social encyclical. It means it's got the same character as previous encyclicals like, Rerum Novarum, which dealt with the Industrial Revolution and everything that it was causing in society. It's a social encyclical like Populorum Progressio, which is how do we promote, the development of people. It's a social encyclical like, John Paul's Sollicitudo Re Socialis, concern for, things in social, things the same thing. So it's a social encyclical in this sense that its concern is about the social condition of the human person. But the Pope makes it that it's not encyclical on climate change because that would have required a lot of scientific proving whatever, which is beyond his competence. So he talks about what is within his competence and leaves scientists to talk about what is within their competence.
But there is a lot of science, relatively speaking, in this encyclical, more than in a lot of other encyclicals. We don't think about the dialogue that the Church has with science often when we think about and talk about encyclicals. So what was that dialogue like when you were referring to and referencing and the Pope was looking at all of the current, most up-to-date science on environmental issues?
The Pope invites various sectors of society to come together to talk. It's like we're facing a global situation. All of us, therefore, need to come together, share various points of view towards finding a solution. And so he invites to all kinds of dialogue on international level, regional level, local level, between faith groups and between faith and science. And in this regard, Pope Benedict already sets the pace and sets the example. In his last day of Assisi, organized under his pontificate, Benedict XVI, the thing was not a pilgrimage of faith. What he decided to celebrate was, faith and reason in pilgrimage for the truth. And so that was Benedict affirming in a very strong way that both science and faith are in search of the truth. And that's how they can come together to walk together in search of the truth. And that kind of thing is what the encyclical also is promoting.
The encyclical has gotten so much publicity, not only in religious press, Catholic media, but in secular press as well. Have you been surprised at how...
No, just because that is pertinent. It's a question of its relevance and its pertinence to whatever. It's just that it came out and addressed issues which were current. The UN was not struggling, but UN had been dealing with the issue of sustainability and set up the climate, UNEP, a special session on environmental, protection and care. So it was something that humanity itself was dealing with. Okay, so the Pope weighs in on this to bring their contribution of faith, the conviction of faith and inspiration of faith, to a discussion which the whole world or humanity was dealing with. So that's when that's how that thing got popular. Then following the event in France in Paris in last December at the COP21, where nations had gathered to try to commit to a real decision not to exceed 2 degrees, but thanks be to God we got 1.5. So we went even lower than what we went in there bargaining for. But again, we recognize that this 1.5 will still not make any change unless we commit to reducing carbon emission, by the middle of the century. So, yes, we've committed to something, but whatever we've committed to needs a lot of follow-up action. And it's again in this regard that the encyclical provides a moral booster to allow people to be, to stick with their conviction, either from faith point of view or moral point of view, or even religious and scientific points of view.